Sweden, 1973. The first rays of sunlight painted the snow-covered expanse in hues of orange and gold. Kiruna stretched below them, silent and cold. Inside the helicopter, the mercenaries prepared for landing. "All right, boots on the ground," Libra said over the comms. "Try not to freeze our asses off." The squad stepped onto the frozen terrain, boots sinking into the snow. "Hold up," Giorno said, casting a glance at the others. "Maybe we take a detour, hit the village first. A mine full of glowing radiation doesn't sound as fun as grabbing a drink and catching up with the Swedish." Legion adjusted his coat, considering the suggestion. "Not the worst idea. We gather intel, see what's left of the locals." "Long as we're not wasting time," Phantom said, lighting a cigarette. "If things go south, we're going straight to the mine." They loaded into Legion's muscle car, the Dodge Challenger freed from its crate. The engine roared, cutting through the quiet dawn. They arrived at the town square. It felt eerily abandoned, no pedestrian or stray animals. Then a siren chirped. A mustached officer, clad in a thick jacket and a wool hat, stepped out, chewing on something that smelled faintly of charred meat. He approached the car, his expression flat, his gloved hands resting at his sides. "Tourists, wrong time of year for this place," he muttered, before handing Legion a folded evacuation notice. "City's dead," the officer continued. "Radiation running wild. Only the crazies and the hopeless stayed behind, including me. If you want my advice, get the hell out. Head southeast to Svappavaara. No contamination there." Before anyone could respond, the ground rumbled beneath them with a deep tremor. The officer paused, looking toward the dark outline of the mine in the distance. "Or earthquakes," he muttered. The mercenaries exchanged worried glances, the weight of their mission settling deeper. Then Giorno grinned from the back seat, resting his arm on the window frame. "What's that smell?" he asked, tone casual, amused. "Barbecue? I think we could grab a bite before running for our lives." The officer blinked, surprised, maybe even amused, before chuckling dryly. "Barbecue? Ha! Bjorn, my pal. He shot a moose a few days back. He's been giving away the meat. Not many people left to share. If you're hungry, I can take you to his cabin." The mercenaries exchanged quick nods, a chance to gather intel before heading toward the mine. Legion put the car into gear as the police cruiser led the way. About 5 minutes away from the square, they turned onto a narrow dirt road leading toward a rustic wooden cabin. Outside, a police officer sat near a fire, chewing lazily on a skewer of moose meat. The first officer, Captain Larson, stepped out of his car, gesturing towards the cabin. "I'll fetch Bjorn. Bucht, save some meat for our guests." Bucht, the officer at the fire, grinned, lifting his skewer in salute. "Tourists, huh? Hope they know what's been happening around here." Legion kept one hand near his weapon, assessing the woods around the cabin. All of a sudden they heard a sound. A distant cry tangled in agony. "Help! Help!" Larson froze, his grip tightening around his holster. Giorno exhaled slowly, eyes narrowing. "That does not sound right. Does not sound human." Phantom was already moving, weapon raised. "No time to think. Let's move, now!" Phantom led the charge into the woods, heart pounding. The terrain shifted, the snow thinning into patches of frozen grass and mud. Then they saw it, a hulking creature, bristling with spines, crouched in the undergrowth, its grotesque form looming over a torn corpse. The corpse, Bjorn, his body lifeless, ravaged. Phantom halted, muscles locking in instinct. "Oh hell, this is not normal." The creature turned, its black, soulless eyes locking onto them. Then it spoke, the voice gurgling from its throat like something stolen from a dying man. "Help!" Then the spines quivered, flexed, and launched. Phantom grunted, pain exploding in his chest. A spine buried itself into his flesh, hot blood soaking his tactical vest. "Ugh, this hurts like hell!" Legion snapped up his pistol, eyes flashing. "What the hell's that? Open fire!" Giorno channeled his power, the dust at his feet swirling into a vortex, which then launched itself towards the creature and exploded into a dust cloud. The monster trembled, wounded but far from dead. Scalp staggered, shielding his face from the rush of dust. He blinked and muttered, "What the hell?" He had seen all manner of horrors in war, but nothing quite like this. "You didn't mention you could make sandstorms, partner," he grunted, glancing between Giorno and the creature trembling in the dust cloud. Giorno smirked, like he had been waiting for this exact moment. "Guess I forgot to bring it up." The creature coiled, its body tightening like a muscle, and rolled towards them. A flying spine speared Legion on his shoulder, his face twisted in pain. Phantom braced, chest burning, vision tunneling from blood loss. "You're gonna pay for this, freak!" After a relentless burst of gunfire, the creature fell motionless in the blood-soaked snow. Phantom exhaled sharply, lowering his smoking machine gun. His heartbeat hammered in his ears, but something was wrong. His veins burned, and a fever rose rapidly beneath his skin. Legion staggered, clutching his own wound, and then muttered, "Shit, this isn't just a stab wound. Something's wrong." Larson knelt beside Bjorn, checking his pulse. "He's alive, barely," the officer muttered, waving for Bucht to assist. "We need to get him inside, now!" Scalp was already moving, dragging Phantom and Legion towards the cabin's entrance while the officers lifted Bjorn. Inside, firelight flickered, casting long shadows against the walls. Scalp cleared the table, sweeping dishes aside to make room for his medical kit. "I need space and towels now!" Bucht rushed to grab cloth, while Larson held Bjorn's head upright, trying to keep him conscious. Phantom and Legion gritted their teeth, feeling the poison crawl deeper into their bloodstream. Scalp worked fast, injecting Legion with a stabilizer first, then turning to Phantom, ripping open his shirt to check the wound. "Whatever those creatures had on their spines, it's running through your system fast," he muttered, pulling out a vial. "But I've seen worse, hold still." Phantom gritted his teeth, then felt the needle pierce his skin. Legion leaned against the wall, breathing heavily as his own symptoms dulled, the treatment working quickly. Bjorn let out a low groan, his eyelids flickering, barely conscious. Larson kept a firm grip on him, shaking his head. "We don't have much time." Scalp wiped sweat from his brow, already preparing the next dose for Bjorn. "Then let's not waste it,"